Have you ever wondered what's really going on in the mind of a captain? The person responsible for a multi-million-dollar yacht and every single life on board. Well, today we're stepping onto the bridge to take a tour of the incredible knowledge it takes to be a yacht master.
So let's start with a big question. What does it actually take to command a vessel on the high seas? Let me tell you, it is so much more than just having a steady hand on the wheel. It's about a deep, fundamental responsibility for the ship, for the sea, and for every soul who trusts you with their life.
Here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with the absolute bedrock, the rules of the sea. Then we'll get into how a captain literally reads the world around them using weather and charts. After that, we'll dive into the delicate art of pilotage, cover what happens when things go wrong, and finally we'll wrap it all up by looking at the immense weight of a captain's ultimate responsibility.
Okay, let's lay the foundation. Before a yacht even thinks about casting off its lines, its master is already operating inside a massive framework of rules that everyone agrees on. This isn't just about being polite, it's the official language of the sea.
And at the very heart of these rules, you've got the call regs. That stands for the International Regulations for Preventing Collisions at Sea. Seriously, think of it like the highway code for the entire ocean. And it doesn't matter if you're on a tiny sailboat or a colossal container ship, these rules apply to you. Their one and only purpose? To stop disasters before they happen.
And the precision in these rules is just mind-blowing. Take Rule 9, for example, which deals with narrow channels. It says, and I'm paraphrasing a little, that a vessel has to stick to the outer edge of the channel on its starboard side, the right-hand side. There's zero room for making it up as you go. In a tight channel with a huge ship, knowing this rule inside and out is the only thing standing between a safe passage and a total catastrophe.
All right, so with those rules locked in as the foundation, a captain then has to learn how to read and interpret the entire world around them. And that means understanding everything from the awesome power of nature to the super detailed maps made by humans.
You see, a master has to wear two hats at all times. They've got to be a meteorologist, trying to predict what the weather's going to do, and a cartographer, who can make sense of all the squiggles on a nautical chart. They are constantly translating this flood of complex data into one simple critical decision. Is it safe to keep going?
And this goes way, way beyond just checking a weather app on your phone. A captain needs to understand these deep, fundamental forces, like the Coriolis effect. That's just the spin of the Earth pushing winds and currents around. It's the reason storms spin clockwise or counterclockwise depending on what hemisphere you're in. Understanding the why behind the weather is absolutely crucial. And then on the map side of things, it's all about picking the right tool for the job. You've got large-scale charts, which give you insane amounts of detail for navigating, say, a tricky harbor. And then you have small-scale charts, which give you the big picture for planning a long ocean crossing. Using the wrong one, well, that's like trying to perform surgery with a sledgehammer. It's a direct path to disaster. Now we get to what's called the art of pilotage. This is where all that theory, the rules, the weather, the charts, gets put to the ultimate test in the most high-stakes environment you can imagine, right up close to shore. Pilotage is basically the art of navigating by what you can see with your own two eyes. It's that critical final mile. When you're maneuvering a vessel worth millions of dollars through a narrow channel, there is absolutely zero margin for error. It demands meticulous, obsessive, step-by-step planning. And that plan is incredibly detailed. A master will start by just burying themselves in the charts. Then they gather intel from these things called pilot books. They're like encyclopedias for specific waterways. They will circle every single hazard, plot the exact courses, and then build a crystal clear plan. And the last, most crucial step, they brief the helmsman, making sure every person on that bridge knows the plan backwards and forwards. But even the most perfect, most detailed plans can be completely wrecked by the unpredictable nature of the sea. The true measure of a captain isn't just in how well they plan, but in how they react when things inevitably go wrong. Every captain trains and drills relentlessly for the most common and the most terrifying emergencies. Fire. I mean, can you imagine a fire on a boat in the middle of nowhere? Collision, which can happen despite all those rules. Flooding, a desperate race against the clock. And that heart-stopping moment of man overboard, where every single second is the difference between life and death. But beyond all those known risks, there's something else out there. What do you think is one of the most unpredictable and frankly dangerous obstacles a modern yacht can possibly encounter at sea? 40,000. Just let that number sink in for a second. 40,000
100,000.
That is roughly the number of shipping containers that fall off of cargo ships every single year. These things are basically steel icebergs. They often float just beneath the surface, and they're nearly impossible to spot, especially at night. For a yacht, hitting one of these can be absolutely catastrophic.
And all of this, it brings us right to the very core of what it means to be a captain, having the ultimate responsibility. It's about weaving all this knowledge together, all the time, into a constant state of watchfulness and decisive leadership. See, the master of a yacht is never just one thing. They are a navigator, executing a perfect plan. They're a meteorologist, reading the sky. They are a crisis manager, ready for the absolute worst. And above all, they are a leader, holding the final responsibility for their vessel and for every single life on board. So, we've journeyed through this vast world of knowledge that a yacht master has to command. We've gone from international law to atmospheric physics, from painstaking planning to split-second decisions in a crisis. You've seen the incredible depth of it all, so the question I'll leave you with is this: do you think you have what it takes?